It's Margaret, bitch. Bitch, please. Queen.
Baby, here I go again, making you remember who I am.
Things that we do. Welcome everyone to our program today. I am David Hylan.
And I'm Pam Brown. We represent PACE, People Acting for Change and Equality.
PACE is the host organization for the North Louisiana Gay and Lesbian Film Festival, which is an annual film festival, and we are so fortunate that Pam is the chair of the steering committee for this year's event. And let's talk a little bit about the festival.
Let's talk about it, David. It starts September the 7th, which is on a Friday, and it lasts through September the 13th, which is on a Thursday. As always, it's going to be held at the Robinson Film Center in downtown Shreveport. We've got some amazing films. Our film committee has been previewing just hundreds of films throughout this past year, and they've come up with a great selection.
So the films are going to be some independent films as well as some what you might call mainstream films.
Exactly. There'll be some documentaries, there'll be some short films, and we're excited about this year's lineup.
Excellent. Of course, with every film festival, we have a guest celebrity host. We've had Leslie Jordan from Will and Grace fame, John John Waters, and Bruce Valanche, and this year it's going to be Margaret Cho.
Can you believe we got her?
I have to tell you that I'm really very excited about it because she's a big national comedian. She's known all over the world, actually, and her comedy is unmatched by anybody, and so to have her in Shreveport.
You know, she's a great comedian. She's also a writer. She's a musician. She's an actress. She does a little bit of everything, but she's going to do a stand-up performance on Saturday, September the 8th, and we're going to hold it in a fantastic venue, the Municipal Auditorium in downtown Shreveport.
If anyone hasn't been in the Municipal, it really is quite an outstanding space. It seats 3,000 people, so it's really large and it's wonderful.
It is. It actually seats a little over 3,000, and we're going to pack the house this year for Margaret.
I think so. You can get information about the film festival other than what we talk about today by going to pacelouisiana.org, or you can go straight to the film festival website, which is nlglff.org, North Louisiana Gay and Lesbian Film Festival, and you can pick up information about tickets. Let's talk a little bit about tickets, because there's tickets to the festival and then there's tickets to Margaret. So how does that work?
Well, they're different. They're completely separate. The tickets for the film festival, you can get them at the Robinson Film Center. You can get them online. Go to our website. We have a film festival website. You can go there and purchase them, or you can just come down here, pick them up at the film center. The tickets for Margaret stand-up, though, you get them at the Municipal Auditorium, or you can actually just go get them through Ticketmaster.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Ticketmaster's a pretty popular place to get tickets.
Yeah, it's easy to do. You can just get online and do it right there.
And they're affordable.
They're very affordable. In fact, I don't think you can see Margaret Cho for the price you can see her in Shreveport anywhere else in the United States.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, we are about to talk to Margaret. She is coming to us live from New York City, and we hope that you will enjoy this interview.
It's going to be fun. Buckle up. Well, good morning, Margaret. Welcome to Shreveport, Louisiana.
Thank you.
We're really excited about you coming to our film festival in September. I have a few questions I want to talk to you and just ask you a few things.
Okay.
First of all, we all know that you grew up on Haight Street in San Francisco, and we're just wondering, how did that shape your comedic style?
I'm not sure. I think it really did sort of ready me for just my work in queer politics and my work as just an activist in that community, because the same time I was growing up, it was around the same time that Harvey Milk was coming into prominence as a local politician, and then also the insane tragedy of his assassination, which really I think marked a turning point in San Francisco politics, in queer politics overall, but in San Francisco where it was such a big deal. And so it was a great community to grow up in. And then I started my comedy career in the 80s doing a lot of AIDS fundraising. And so that the activism that I've always done kind of comes from that movement.
Right, right. You've mentioned about your dad writing joke books in Korean, and the fact that y'all don't always get each other's humor. But did his role in writing those books have anything to do with the development of your comedy?
Well, he taught me how to use a typewriter, which was incredibly freeing. You know, that I really kind of was able to translate my thoughts into words and then use this machine to do so. And you know, in the 70s and the 80s, this is kind of revolutionary idea to you know do that. Like I had a typewriter, and it was such a I don't know, it just encouraged me as a writer. I think he's always encouraged the writerly side of me, and that part of my life, and still does to this day.
Right.
Here in Shreveport, not too long ago, PACE, our organization, worked with the mayor and the city council, and as a result of our work, we were able to have an ENDA pass. So we're real excited about that and happy about that. That's part of our advocacy work. And we know that you have done a lot of advocacy work. And so I'm just going to ask you a little bit, what is your motivation to be so involved?
Well, my motivation is growing up within the gay community, and also growing up knowing that in a way, like a lot of the people in my generation, we lost a lot of our elders to AIDS. And so we're sort of the generation who had to raise ourselves. And then in the queer community, and so we're missing a link. It's like we're missing a rung on the ladder. You know, there were so many young men who died of AIDS in the 80s and the 90s, and so there's a lot of the sort of work that we had to do on our own and take on the work of a generation that was lost before us. So it's a big deal. Like, to me, advocacy and like activism is not just about for myself, but it's about the community at large and the community that I've lost.
You have, on a number of occasions, identified yourself as a bisexual woman. So obviously, equality within the LGBT community is very, very personal to you. Can you talk a little bit about how comedy can be used to advance civil rights in the LGBT community?
Well, it's a good way of humanizing the experience, and a good way of like talking about what you're dealing with in a way that is entertainment, but it's also personal narrative and political narrative. So it's I think it's a wise choice, you know, for a politician to also be a comedian, and vice versa. You know, you have a great a great sort of appeal to people, and I think people are more likely to listen to you if you have sort of a witty rapport with them. So you know, political life is something that I've always kind of aspired to, but I don't have to like delve into the responsibility of it because I'm also an entertainer.
Right, right.
Well, part of PACE's goals here in Shreveport, what we try to do is educate the public on LGBT issues and the civil rights, and we want to advance those here, especially in North Louisiana. And we just want to know, how do you think that your appearance here at the film festival can help us achieve our goals?
Well, I think that just my work in general is really about a kind of accepting and understanding multiculturalism, and like being open to the other point of view, other points of view, and finding a way to kind of rise above things. And so these are all positive things for the LGBT community, and for, you know, for feminists, for you know, any sort of like minorities beyond what is a sexual minority too. So it's something that I feel really strongly about, and I'm really excited to come there.
Well, you know, bullying has gotten a lot of national attention recently, and there's been quite a bit of focus on that. Here in Louisiana, there's been a concerted effort to try to get some very specific bullying legislation passed, and it has just been absolutely an uphill climb. And I've noticed that you kind of are the patron saint of those outsiders, speaking for them when they can't necessarily speak for themselves. Can you talk a little bit about the work that you do in trying to end bullying?
Well, it's really about at once mentoring kids who feel left out, and kind of trying to be a voice of somebody who has survived it, because I've survived it, and I want to be there for others who feel like they're really alone, and that's the isolation is that's so terrible about bullying, is that you feel really like your experience is really like you're just kept away from everybody else. And so I think it's important to have that first person story and say, well, this is what happened to me, and then also reaching out and offering to help in some way, whether that is like getting legislation passed or just telling your story so that stories continue to be told. But it's something that we need to keep talking about, and it's something that I'm glad has a place in the sort of larger conversation of society, and because it's something that's been happening forever, but you know, the fact that there's so much more attention paid to it now and legislation passing, I think this is a really good sign for the future.
Did you experience any of that, you know, as you were growing up, any type of bullying?
Yeah, I did. I really was. I think because I am of so many minorities, and then when you're a kid, people really kind of treat you differently if you are different, and so the struggle of that was probably why I grew up so quickly and sort of decided to become an adult so quickly, as I didn't want to have that powerlessness of being a child anymore. So I wanted to get out of that and be autonomous. And that really wasn't the best answer, but that's a lot of what kids do. A lot of kids like run away from home or run away from their schools or run away from their situations where they're feeling like really powerless.
Thank you. We know that you're involved in the True Colors campaign, the tour that benefits the Human Rights Campaign. Could you tell us a little bit about your work with Cyndi Lauper and with Debbie Harry?
Well, those ladies are wonderful, and they really came together to promote this tour that, you know, in this sort of like apolitical whatever that rock and roll has become, it's like very exciting to have a tour that's really very political in its nature and very progressive, and really it's about reaching out to gay kids and really making sure that they have a place to go in the summer and this rock show to go in the summer. And it was really, I think, an inspired idea. I toured with them for 2 years, and I really loved the magic that they created on stage, but also what they were doing in terms of, you know, meeting with families, meeting with gay teens, getting sort of this anti-bully legislation out there, you know, like just really being progressive and being there for the LGBT community, which I think is amazing.
You know, one of the things that I love to hear you talk about in your routine is about your mom, and I love the way that she's depicted so prominently in the Cho show. Is that really her? Is that really what she's? Is that she's just like that? She's
really. I mean, she's. You know, she's very much like kind of like a this kind of person. Yeah. So, you know, my new show that I'm writing currently, it's called Mother, and it's all about her and her life and kind of like what she's brought to my life and the sort of the eternal power of the mother. So I'm looking forward to putting that out there.
Margaret, you are a writer, you're a musician, you're an actress. You do just a little bit about everything, which that's one of the reasons we wanted to bring you here. You're so diverse. Could you tell us a little bit about your current projects?
Well, I'm writing a new show, and I have another TV show that's coming out next week called Drop Dead Diva. It's our 4th season on that. It's for Lifetime, and so we're premiering on June 3rd. So it's kind of a busy whirl of activity. I'm here in New York promoting that, and you know, getting ready to do some other touring stuff, going back to stand-up comedy, which is something that I truly love. So I'll be doing like a tour of the South and all over the Southeast, and then going back to England for a while. So yeah, it's going to be a busy year.
Have you found the South being very challenging for you in presenting some of the topics that you talk about?
I think it's great. You know, I have a really great time. I also consider myself a Southerner. I live part-time in Atlanta, and so that to me is a really beautiful city, and it is certainly the San Francisco of the South. You know, it is very progressive and very liberal and very cultured, and really a different view of the South than I had anticipated. You know, I didn't realize it was going to be such a culinary city. I didn't realize it was going to be such an erudite city. Like it really is spectacular. So I'm like changing my views about what I thought initially of the South, and I've always had a really great time touring the South. It's just been an amazing place for me. You know, and Louisiana to me is also very much like the Caribbean too. It's very exotic, and so it's a beautiful place for me to go.
Well, we are absolutely, we can't tell you how excited we are about you coming, and we are ready to show you a very good time when you get here. So get ready for some of that good Cajun food and good Cajun music. And it sounds like we're gonna get a lot of Margaret Cho and a little mix of this and that for the show, and we're excited about that.
Oh, it's going to be wonderful.
Well, thank you so much for your willingness to come and obviously talk with us today.
Thank you.
We're looking forward to seeing you.
Looking forward to it.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah. So, hey, what'd you think about that?
I have to tell you, I'm really impressed with her and going a little bit beyond the tattoos, which were beautiful.
They were.
They're very colorful. I hope that the people watching this will be able to see how beautiful that was. But you know, Margaret seems to be a very committed advocate, and she obviously comes from a history of equal rights and doing what is right and treating people fairly. She talked about Harvey Milk a little bit. That's awesome.
Yeah,
what do you think?
I loved it. I thought she was really personable. I think she's going to be great for us. Did you know that her grandfather was a Methodist minister?
Well, I had read somewhere, but I'd forgotten about that, yeah.
So I think coming to the Bible Belt of the South, she'll be able to relate to us.
Well, the South certainly didn't look like it intimidated her, did it?
Not at all. I think she's looking forward to it.
Yeah, you know, I'm kind of concerned because, you know, the auditorium only holds like 3,000 people. I hope that's enough. I mean, you know, I think we're going to sell out.
I do too. I think we're going to sell out. And I encourage people to go ahead and buy their tickets soon. You can get those tickets, by the way, if you go online. You can get them at Ticketmaster. You can look at our website. You know, we've already talked about the website information, but they're going to go fast, especially the good seats. So people need to get on and support this. And you know what, David? They're very affordable. People will not be able to see Margaret Cho for that amount of money. With the tickets starting at $25 and $35, of course you've got to add the fees, the Ticketmaster fees and those things, but you know, Jerry Seinfeld was here not too long ago, and his tickets, I believe, were close to $75.
Oh, wow.
We're going to be able to see her much less.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
well, you know, that's one of the common threads behind most everything that PACE does is they want to make it a community event. They don't want money to be a problem. Obviously, we have to pay the bills,
right?
And we try to do that, but make it in such a way, amount-wise, that people can really plan. And I mean, for goodness sakes, it's in September, so people have time to save money. And
they do.
But they're not going to have to do that because the tickets are so affordable.
They
It's
are.
awful. And
the good thing about it too, there's so many great seats at the Municipal Auditorium.
Yeah.
You know, you can't really get a bad seat.
No, I mean, there was a reason why Elvis was there.
I hear he's still there. I hear his ghost is there.
It is, and he will be performing alongside Margaret Cho, whether she
Awesome.
knows it or not. Listen, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. And Pam, thank you for all your work with the film festival and PACE.
Well, David, you're actually the one that has been facilitating with Margaret, so thank you.
You're welcome.
It's going to be a fun time.
We will put on the screen the web addresses where you can go and get tickets to not only Margaret Cho's concert the evening of Saturday, September 8th, but also to the film festival itself. Thank you, and y'all have a great day.
Bye.